Welcome, everyone. I'm Angelo Robles at Family Office Association. We've been very active for many, many years in families creating and hopefully enhancing their single family office. We've been working on a masterclass series. Now, unfortunately, with the current situation with the coronavirus, doing those in person, it's actually a multi-day program, has become impossible for now. We did a mini version in Palo Alto a couple of months ago, but we will be rolling out some online initiatives relative to more than just creating a single family office, more directly on the rise of the virtual single family office. I co-authored a book, Maximizing Your Single Family Office, just came out weeks ago with Russ Allen Prince, John Bowen, and Peter Sasaki. That was a lot of fun. And we've been a great advocate in leveraging remote teams, more outsourcing selectively, and a utilization of technology. And all that combined effectively is the value in creating in today's world, especially now more than ever, a virtual family office. And we've done this in advising people that are partners at various hedge funds and venture capital firms that have done well, business owners that have done incredibly well. And there's tremendous value to creating a family office, specifically a single family office, an entity created by one family of great wealth to internally and exclusively manage their finances, their affairs, to some degree, depending on the scope, their legacy, and do it with privacy, customization, that really can't be matched in anything that would be external. Is it easy? No. Is it for everyone? Absolutely not. So we're going to do a multi-part series, which again, this is really meant to be over multiple days. Each one is going to be probably 5 or 6 minutes. You're getting the tiniest little snippet of a look into not just a single family office, but effectively a virtual single family office. As a reminder, I take great pride in our content and what we work on. This is proprietary. It's copywritten content of mine, Angelo Robles. So we are a little protective relative to the benefits of our members and the value that we provide in a much deeper level than just this overview, specifically to them. In a moment, we're going to start effectively a PowerPoint type presentation over multiple parts, and they're incredibly condensed. But hopefully this would provide value and a look inside the virtual single family office. We hope you enjoy it. Well, here we are. Again, we developed a masterclass multi-day presentation, which is very complex, but I was able to condense it into still a pretty significant PowerPoint that I'm going to breeze over in multiple parts. We're going to call this part 1, Virtual Family Offices Embracing the Shift. Again, a family office would be an entity managing the wealth and resources of one specific family for privacy, control, and customization. And the numbers that are needed, not necessarily $500 million to create your own family office, has come down. A virtual family office, which leverages more remote employees, more outsourced relationships, and a really important one, technology, in reaching the goals as a family that you want to accomplish. The technology part's a very important part, but we're not going to be able to get to that to closer to part 3. That's probably the most detailed of the sessions, but I wanted to lay a little bit of that foundation. The virtual family office, or elements of it, will touch every family office, even for someone worth tens of billions of dollars moving forward. It's going to be digital. It's going to be the way of the future. And we're seeing that play out right now with more and more teams needing to be remote given the coronavirus. So families face increasing complexity. I noted on here an uncertain economy, cyber threats, tax complexities, constantly evolving regulations, changing dynamics within the family, terrorist attacks, geopolitical, generational conflicts, and emerging technologies. These are all things, and that's not even mentioning the coronavirus and disasters and diseases. There's lots of threats, many nefarious, that are facing families of just some degree of wealth, let alone those that are incredibly wealthy. And again, the opportunity for a family office to be prepared, to have a backup, to have a disaster plan are all things that are going to be integral. Many families understand the benefits of creating an SFO to address these challenges, and these are some things that we went over already. You know, existing family offices are often challenged. They're siloed operations, stale processes, outdated technology, not transitioning to the next generation. The next generation is showing little interest often. They're not engaged in the process. Outdated benchmark and best practices, overly high cost, and depending on how performance is measured, effectively fading performance as well. It's time for the single family office or offices to evolve and adapt, just like we all have to during the current times. And much of this is something that we could take forward in the future. Do we think this is going to be the last disaster, the last pandemic? No. The last major correction in the market. These are all things that the single family office, like the movie The Bodyguard, you need to be the Kevin Costner character that's always on the lookout for threats and concerns. Now, that was more specific, more to physical threats, although that is a concern for family office members as well. But there's so many different kind of threats these days, especially compared to decades ago. The family office is the beacon, not only of family communication, connectivity, and the source of wealth and legacy and the value they provide to their communities, and the philanthropic giving through the foundation and other entities are all incredibly important and at the heart of the family and managed by the family office. So the virtual family office, really, it is a single family office, all the things that I mentioned prior, but it takes into account you may need to do more with less, and the employees may be more remote. And how do you communicate with them? We're going to talk a little later about platforms like Trusted Family and Sumitas. We're going to talk about Slack and project management tools like Trello. There's so much out there now, and much of it's so cost effective to really have the best of the best in terms of talent, or best that's going to fit the needs of your specific family office, and have them be remote employees. But knowing how to communicate and how to manage them is going to be incredibly important. There are trends we're seeing that leaders need to be very adaptable. There's market trends, emerging tech, there's mitigating risk. And really, at the end of the day, the core goal of the family office is the family is rich in both financial assets and their legacy. And you want that to maintain during the trying times. And that factors in inflation and taxes and up and down economic markets and challenges to the family from multiple different perspectives that we noted so far. One of the points made in this slide at the bottom right is wealth extraction. Basically, at the end of the day, don't governments have the ultimate power? Wealth extraction primarily through taxes and sometimes through more nefarious forces in many countries in the world. So if you're a family of great wealth, you want to really be able to have a diverse group of talented professionals. You want to have your assets diversified, including a portion of it out of the country. And again, this is where a talented person running up the family office, heading the family office, the right committees, the right structure. And there's no way that in a couple of minutes in a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to be able to grasp all that. This is very much just a summary. The next generation transformation is going to be huge. Most family offices don't make it to the next generation. The next generation is not engaged. They don't feel it's their family office. They don't feel like a stakeholder, and they don't feel engaged enough often with the talent that's in the family office. There needs to be far more mutual collaboration, listening, understanding, and incorporating them, their beliefs, including some of it on the investing front, being a little simplistic, but impact investing. These are all things that are going to be important. How they communicate is very different, meaning those under 35, millennials, and even younger Generation Z, than how people maybe more in my age, an older Generation X or a younger baby boomer communicates. It's just very, very different. Uh, One of the reasons for creating a single family office was really, at least here in the US, is the potential tax benefits, the elimination of Section 212 of the tax code a couple of years ago, and the lender family versus IRS, where the lender family won, although admittingly specific only to that one family, but creates a little bit of a framework for how to create a family office that is tax beneficial, often incredibly tax beneficial, far more than an individual ultra high net worth investor would get. But it's complex. How do you set up the infrastructure, the LLCs, the intertwining agreements? How are the assets owned? Again, this is something that's over multiple days with the world leaders within a masterclass or a one-on-one, and you're just getting the lightest of summaries here. But I wanted to showcase to you some of the things that we cover at Family Office Association in our in-depth master classes, which now for our members will begin to have some transition to online meetings, to modules that we're going to create, to direct connectivity to me and my Rolodex and depth of connections. So we're pretty much on this part one, as I'm calling it. We're going to stop here. A virtual family office is a lean single family offices that utilizes technology to capitalize on the efficiency and flexibility often of both insourced and outsourced services. I'm Angelo Robles at Family Office Association, a membership organization dedicated to families of great wealth and resources and their entities like their single family office, and providing content, value, and peer-to-peer connections, and expert resources, creative writing, and concepts to help them better improve, again, the effectiveness and the efficiency dedicated within their single family office, and of course, the growing trend of a virtual family office.